Hi folks, back again, Bathrobe Chronicles number 172. I don't really have any notes, and I really should have some notes for this one. I rarely use notes. I have never used a script. Now I do read from newspaper articles and things like that. Excuse me. I did this one 2 or 3 months ago, and it was most likely 20 minutes or so. Um, and I realized after I listened to it that there were some things I had forgotten. I'm sure I'm going to forget some things tonight, but I'm going to give it a shot. And whether or not I'm going to post this one, I do not know. I want to talk about police. Uh, I guess I need to say that I do work with police officers routinely, and have for about 18 years. And when I say routinely, I would say a minimum of 2 times a week or 3 times a week and a maximum of 6 or 7 times a week. And we work in specific circumstances, which really, most likely, well anyway, aren't important at this moment. But I just wanted to talk about that, most of the police officers who I'm around do a heck of a job. I mean, absolutely terrific. And in 18 years, there's literally been one time in the capacity that I work with the police, that someone acted like an absolute moron. Now, I'm not talking about at times I would say, oh gosh, maybe the police officer should have done this, or oh gosh, maybe the police officer should have done that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about one time a guy acted like an absolute moron. I normally work with the regular city police department, occasionally with the sheriffs, occasionally with the FBI, occasionally with the Secret Service, under unique circumstances. I work with airport police, university police, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, I don't know about all the universities, but I know about our local universities and, of course, our local airport police. These are all sworn officers. Not sure exactly what that means, but it means like they're regular police folks, and they can arrest you just like a regular police guy can. So these aren't like rent-a-cops or anything. And lots of folks, for whatever reason, just, they like to talk about, oh, they hate police officers, they hate this, they hate that. Well, I don't know what they base this on. I truly don't. As I said, most of the police officers, man, oh man, they seem to bend over backwards to try and help the citizens. I mean, they go, most of them, that extra mile. As I said, there's that one time, I mean, this was a real moron. Are all police officers honest no, they aren't. For instance, we had one of the officers who, when I say I know, that means I recognize him, I've worked with him, and so on and so forth. And he was convicted of raping a 62-year-old woman. So no, the police department has problems too. But I think most police departments do try their best to weed out people through the process of recruiting, hiring, and training. And they do a pretty good job. And I know in our city, as far as I'm concerned, the cops are just, top notch. That's it. They're top notch. And these people go out there every stinking day, and they do what we don't want to do. In other words, who in the hell do we call when we have a problem? We call the police department. I don't care what it is, we call the police department. And they will go out there and they will do something. That's their job. Whether they want to go out there or don't want to go out there, that doesn't even enter into it. They go because they are there, as they say, to serve and protect. Okay, do all of them want to serve and protect? No, I'm sure there's some in there who don't want to serve and protect. But by and large, most of them do. Excuse me. And these folks get killed. No, they don't get killed every day. But I'll tell you, if you read the newspaper, they are getting killed. When I did this other one that I did not actually put up on YouTube, as I said, it's been a couple of months ago, and I just didn't like the way it sounded or looked or whatever it was. And at that time, I think it was in Tampa, this police officer stopped this guy some minor thing like the license plate was off or something, and he realized there was a warrant out for the person. He called for backup. They went to get the guy out of the car. The guy whipped out a gun and killed both of them. And this happens with some regularity. And the city where I work, in the 14 years I've been here, I think there's been about 6 or 7 officers killed. Uh, and here again, I don't know what the statistics are, but I think most of these killings, so to speak, are domestic uh, or some benign traffic stop. You know, police officer stops someone, he's going to give them a friggin' ticket, and they kill him. I remember one night, someone from California called. They said, oh, my son said he's going to kill himself. The old suicide. And so the police officers go over to see what's going on. First officer who goes through the door, the guy kills him. Boom, just like that. This young officer, 25 years old, he's out there trying to help folks and gets killed. And then, of course, his partner kills the guy. And I think for some reason a lot of folks out there think police officers want to go shoot people. Can you imagine what it must be like when a police officer kills someone? They don't want to go out there and kill people. That isn't why they got the job. I'm not sure why I'm talking about this, other than the fact that, I don't know, I don't think people, not that I fully appreciate what a police officer does, not at all. I'm not a police officer. I don't know what they have to put up with. I see what they have to put up with, but I'm not a police officer. I'm not the one who has to make those split-second decisions. And a lot of times police officers, people say, oh, why did they do that? Well, one thing a police officer has to do is maintain control of the situation. Period. He's got to maintain control, he or she. And, I mean, I've seen women police officers, who are like 5'2" or 5'3", who, like 120 pounds, and they have to get this dude under control who's 6'4" and 230. And they will do it, most of them. So you're asking these people to do an almost impossible job. So anytime a police officer feels as though something is getting out of control with this suspect or person or whomever, they're going to get it back into control in a hurry. And typically what that means, they're going to be handcuffed and put in the back of the squad car. And, they aren't acting too quickly. They're trying to, protect the person and themselves. They want to go home that night. The other thing police have to deal with is, here again, I think their training, at least in our town, and I'm sure most towns are about the same, is pretty decent. But there's some things that for instance, I have this thing here, and this is from Newsweek, is being autistic a crime? When a police officer is called to a scene, he's given information from dispatch. A citizen calls dispatch, they describe behavior, dispatch calls the police officer, and they tell the police officer what the citizen is saying. So-and-so is acting crazy. So-and-so is doing this. So-and-so is doing that. So the police officer is speeding across town to try and get there in a hurry and figure out what the heck's going on. Now when they get there, there could be someone who's autistic. There could be someone who has Tourette's. There could be someone who's mentally ill. They don't know this all the time, If there's not a history of this, and if it isn't given to the dispatcher, the police officer doesn't know. So the police officer is going out there, all he is seeing is what he is seeing and what he has been told. And a lot of times they act inappropriately for the circumstances, but the reason they do is not because they're, in other words, they don't have the information. So what they're doing is they are evaluating the situation as they see it, and then they are acting. And sadly, oftentimes this doesn't end up real well. It doesn't. But folks, I'm not sure where I was going with any of this or anything else, but the long and the short of it is these men and women are out there every day, and they are risking their lives. No, it's not like being in Iraq or Afghanistan or anything like that, but they truly are. They are getting killed left and right. And if you look in the newspaper, you'll see it. It's happening everywhere. And typically what it is some kind of benign call, a domestic situation, or someone out of control or whatever, or a benign traffic stop. And there used to be this sign or this slogan or what have you that came out in the 60s, and it said, if you don't like the police, the next time you have a problem, call a crackhead. Anyway, as Pat Gondel would say, ladies and gentlemen, peace, peace, peace.